We had to break one of the main rules for resin pours in order to build this piece for our client. We started off with a salvaged maple burl log that we used our horizontal bandsaw to resaw into 4-inch thick slices. From there, we took the piece into the shop and used our skill saw to rip this piece all the way down the middle so that we could flip the two pieces in towards each other and achieve the design that our client was after. Once the pieces are cut, we can get them upstairs and into the mold and begin prepping for our resin pour. Typically, you should never pour deep resins over 2 inches thick, but being that these slabs are 4 inches thick and we want to avoid a layered appearance, we're going to go ahead and do this all in one shot. The secret to success here comes from our choice of resin and our control over our pour room environment. So number one, we're using our Black Forest deep resin, which has been specifically formulated for pours of large volumes like this. Number two, our room is air conditioned and we have liquid cooling running all the way underneath our molds just to control the exothermic reaction that's created by the resin. Once we've completed our pour, it sits in the mold for 7 days to cure. If you're unable to control the heat that's generated by the pour, the resin will end up overheating and end up curing much sooner than you'd want it to, which will result in bubbles trapped all the way throughout the pour, and in a worst case scenario, the piece can end up shrinking so much that it results in cracks in the resin and you have an unusable piece. Fortunately, we didn't have that happen on this piece and it looks like we have absolutely no bubbles. But we won't know for sure until we get our waterfall glue up done and our first coat of finish on. This client requested one of our waterfall designs, which involves cutting a 45-degree miter on the end of the piece and wrapping the whole slab down to the floor to form the legs instead of attaching some other type of base. We do this by using our SCM panel saw, which fortunately can cut thick enough on a massive piece like this and lets us perform the entire 45-degree cut in one shot. From there, we're using our Festool domino to add in some solid wood tenons to give us some alignment and strength in this glue up. Because this glue up has to be perfect, the dominoes are going to be helpful in just making sure things go exactly where they're supposed to be. We're using our Black Forest Coat Thin resin on the epoxy sections and then Titebond 3 on the wood sections. Once we've got everything coated, we can get them fit together, put the pieces in the clamps, and then after curing for 24 hours, we can begin to apply the oil finish on this piece. We're going to be using our Black Forest furniture oil. It's a natural plant-based oil that you can apply by hand or with the use of the buffer. In this video here, you see us doing both. Ben is applying it by hand and then just using the buffer to help spread out that excess oil. And the trick to this finish is ensuring that you have a nice thin coat. And as you can see, after applying 2 coats of that to the surface, we have an absolutely incredible sheen over the full piece and really remarkable clarity as well for an oil-based finish. Then we can head off to our client's home and begin to perform the delivery. This piece, being that it was 4 inches thick, ended up weighing over 600 pounds, so it was incredibly heavy and took nearly our whole crew of guys to get this successfully lifted into the shop. And then we can get the foam up, we can get the piece tipped upright, and then finally we can stand back and take a look at our finished work. Something else that we didn't include in this video that really helped to contribute to the overall look and protection of this piece is the addition of our Black Forest ceramic coating. It's similar to products used on high-end luxury vehicles, but ours is formulated specifically for woodworking finishes. Not only does it enhance the look of the piece, but it also gives an extra layer of protection. And as you can see, this piece turned out absolutely incredibly. But that's just my opinion, so we'd love to hear what you guys think about this piece in the comments below.